Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and towards the end of this year, time to do my top worst and best films of this year. Starting with the worst, because I want to end this year. Always want to end the year on a good note. So with the films that I enjoy, so that's last. So get the worst stuff out of the way. So I'll try to make this one long because I have some of the DVDs that I have, but a lot I don't have. So and they're bad. So I want to try to forget them, but did my top 10 worst films of 2018. Now, there's a couple of films that people have enjoyed though, but I just see things differently. So that's all I can say. So I know it's all a matter of personal opinion. If you like any of the films that especially some of the ones that a lot of people like though, but I don't. But I said it's my opinion though. So, but starting off with number 10 is Tomb Raider. Came out earlier this year in March. It's based on from 2013. I think it was from 2013. That Tomb Raider video game. I never played the game, so because I've hardly had time to play video games anymore. So all these new video games today's age, or past how many years, I have not played none of them, so I wouldn't know nothing about it. So, but I know reading up, it's based on the 2013 Tomb Raider video game. And I just found the whole film just boring. The lead girl who plays Tomb Raider. I mean, I like the first Tomb Raider, the one that starred Angelina Jolie, the first Lara Croft Tomb Raider. The sequel, The Cradle of Life, I didn't care for, but I like the first one. So that's like the best Tomb Raider film there is. And Angelina Jolie, I liked. This girl, I don't know much about her, but I know she's probably been in some other films or TV films, but. And I think that our guy, Walter Goggins, he's been in a couple of films, and I know he just appeared in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but the film was just nothing to it, either the characters. The film was just overall just a boring movie, and that's the perfect example of it. So there's not much for me to say about it. Tomb Raider, it was just a boring, flat out bore fest. So that's number 10. I should be able to go through these really quickly because I don't know. Like I said, I don't own most of these, so I should go through this quickly. So, but number 10, Tomb Raider, no, not good. Number 9 is a sequel to a 2015 film that I liked because it was based on the series of books that I grew up loving, and I mentioned this before. Goosebumps 2: Haunted Halloween. Now, I'm probably sure that the first film, the one that starred Jack Black, is not loved by everybody though. But in this case, I like that first one because of seeing all the creatures from the books that I've enjoyed. And I didn't think that Jack Black did not do that bad of a job as R.L. Stine. It was cool to see a cameo appearance by R.L. Stine. Which you guys also had a cameo appearance in this film as well at the end of the movie. But Goosebumps 2: Haunted Halloween. Our lead characters, the three main kids. I just overall didn't care for. Although the one who's the brother to the sister, he played the young Ben in the new Stephen King It movie. He was the young kid of Ben, the young version of Ben. Actually, I thought he did not do that bad of a job in that film. He was one of the few good things or the couple of things, honestly, in the new Stephen King's It remake, which I did not like the movie, but the kid who played the young version of Ben was honestly pretty decent though. But here, nothing. Neither was for the lead girl or the guy or her brother's friend either. And Jack Black doesn't appear much till pretty much the third act of the movie. And the whole thing with it's on Halloween, but it's a book that's based on Haunted Halloween, which Slappy. I don't think that the same voice. I think Jack Black did voice Slappy in the previous film, but not in this one. And you only see the Werewolf Fever Swamp and the Abominable Snowman and Pesadilla. The only two characters from the previous film to come back. And Ken Jeong, I'm not a big fan of Ken Jeong. I mean, I think he was only tolerable in the Hangover, the first Hangover movie, but I'm honestly not that huge fan of him. He's like this next door neighbor. He's like decorating his house for Halloween. He has like this giant balloon spider, and he mentions like when the kids explain to him what's going on. He mentions like, oh, I like Goosebumps. The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, Monster Blood. Yeah, it's nice that he names the books that I like, but I'm not a fan of this guy. So overall, the cast overall is not that great. I mean, Jack Black is not much in person only like till the end of the movie. So, and the creatures that are haunting that goes among is the pretty much like the decorations and all that stuff. So not all the monsters from the book. So that was just let down. And I just didn't care for the lead kids, and it was a major step down from the sequel from the first film. So yeah, Halloween, Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween, as a guy who grew up loving the books, reading the books, as well as the TV show. To me, it's a major letdown. I didn't care for it overall. So Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween, no. So that was number 9, and now moving on to number 8 is another Halloween film, and that is of the new 2018 Halloween. Which it's using the same title. It's the same title as the original film because it takes place directly after the first film. So like Halloween 2 from 1981 doesn't even exist already, and the sequel's onward. So it's only like John Carpenter's Halloween and then this film next. 40 years later, it's kind of like Halloween. They should have called it Halloween H40. You know, like Halloween H2, it should call it Halloween H40. I mean, instead of using the same freaking title, just Halloween. I mean, there was a couple things I will say there was a couple things I liked about it. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis once again has come back as Laurie Strode. Jamie Lee Curtis, I think she did a good job acting wise. Acting wise, she did a good job. Because I like Jamie Lee Curtis. But just how they wrote her character, she's all crazy, and now she's like all paranoid because she's been waiting like every day for 40 years for him to break out so she can kill Michael Myers. Basically, they kind of wrote her as a basket case, basically. Like the crazy cat lady. But performance-wise, she was good though. But just how they wrote her character, I just didn't care for. But I didn't care for the girl who plays her granddaughter. Even Judy Greer, who plays Karen, the daughter of Laurie Strode, I didn't care for her either. And even for her husband, which there was Danny McBride, which I mentioned before. He wrote it as well along with the director. I mean, the jokes. I mean, like with the Judy Greer's husband saying, "Oh, I got peanut butter stuck in my penis" and all that. The jokes like that I did not like at all. So. This humor stuff I did not like, especially that one particular joke. Other characters I did not care for, like, well, of course you get the typical where the girl, or the granddaughter, her boyfriend, of course, kissed another girl, like basically cheated on the girl, and that's the cliche I've seen. That even happened in Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween, where the girl was going to go off to meet her boyfriend, and he finds her with another girl. I mean, what is this? You know, I mean, I saw that they came up before Halloween. I saw Goosebumps 2, then I saw this one, and then the same thing happened here, where the boyfriend is with another girl, and the lead girl is hurt and all that stuff. I mean, I saw that twice in a row, and you need to see it again. And the other kid who was like kind of like it, but he basically is a creep too, but he dies. But I will say there was also a couple of gory bits. I will still say that. So Jamie Lee Curtis' performance, some of the gore I did like. The mask, the Michael Myers mask, I thought it was like looked a little better than some of the previous masks I've seen, like Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, or Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. So I would say this mask looks better than some of the couple other ones I've seen from the previous installments. And I did like that one thing where he's walking in the neighborhood. It's almost in one shot where he's walking in the neighborhood where he walks up into like garage, picks up a hammer to kill the woman. All that, and he walks over to another house. All that is done in one shot. I did kind of like that. That's basically almost where the things end, the positive things end, because more characters like the guy who's supposed to be like the new Loomis. Even Jamie Lee Curtis mentions you're the new Loomis, and I'm like, no, he's not. Even he's trying to talk and sound like Donald Pleasence, and he's failing. And then the whole thing with oh yeah, I forgot to mention Will Patton as the sheriff. I liked him too, but he didn't give him much to do, and especially he gets killed by the freaking doctor, who's now all of a sudden turned crazy. Why kill him, and why? Because he wants to do something with Michael Myers. I don't know what he's doing, but he gets his comeuppance. I'm like, yeah, please kill this character, please. And all this, especially all rehashed stuff we've seen in the previous films, like the mention with the one-shot scene where he bumps into a kid with a boombox, like the one was carrying a boombox in Halloween 2, or we went to get the hammer because he killed someone with a hammer, like in Halloween 2. But it was to kill that old lady with the curlers, even wearing the pink robe. It was kind of the same old lady from Halloween 2 as well, where he went to pick up the knife when we walked into their house, pick up the knife, and the old lady got the blood on her fingers and she was screaming. Even the same look of this old woman, the same pink bathrobe and curlers and all that. Even killed even with a hammer, like he did in the security guard in Halloween 2. So rehashing all that stuff, and even also although you see a couple of kids wearing like a couple of like the skeleton mask or the witch mask, or I think it was all the pumpkin mask from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I'm like, wow. They throw this. I mean, I guess the film must not be hated. They were willing to put like as a cameo appearance for to see those masks. Because hey, remember Halloween 3 Season of the Witch? I like Season of the Witch, but I keep on saying, I keep on harping that it should not have been a part of this franchise. It should have been like its own standalone Halloween type of movie, just called Season of the Witch. That's one thing I keep on harping about. I like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch overall. I do. Yeah, so you see the masks from those movies, and well, they almost basically just rehashing stuff all from the previous installments. I mean, makes me want to watch all those other ones. Well, except for, I will say I like this more than Rob Zombie's Halloween films. I will give it that though. I do like this more than Halloween 5 or 6, but still isn't. And John Carpenter, I was like he does the music though. But I found when I saw the credits, he co-helped do the music. So I guess the person who did help do the music, I guess, did some altercations because I guess it's hard to say, but the score didn't do it. Sadly, didn't do anything for me. It was just like the same score, but it was like slightly tweaked up for the New Times Modern. So I don't think John Carpenter didn't do much with the music, I'm sad to say. But I'm sure the other person who helped do the score. Or another joke I find what was funny with the two cops, like, oh, what did I have for dinner? Oh, I got fudge, or this Vietnamese sandwich, or whatever sandwich it was. Like, that I did not care for either. The jokes were not funny in this movie. And plus, this is the type of film that did not need to have jokes like that. So, yeah. So, Halloween. Oh, well, if I get it, I will review it, though, but. And plus, they chose it. And one last thing, nothing new is done with Michael Myers too, as well. It's just what have you not done with Michael Myers has been done all this whole entire franchise. Nothing new has done with Michael Myers, so that's one major thing. Is just nothing new has been done with him. So, more I can say. If I ever plan to review that, yeah, I'll just say same thing. But number 8. Halloween. Ugh, that was making me yawn. I'm tired of this. But yeah, regardless, though, the film got some good critical notices, and it became like the highest grossing slash film ever. Made a lot of money. It became like by far the highest grossing film in the franchise, as well as the highest grossing slash film as well, and broke box office records as well. So, and it's going to get a sequel too, another one, because it made a lot of money. So. Stop with the sequels, please. Rehashing stuff. man. So yeah, Halloween. No, I'm not digging it anymore. So that's number 8. Moving to number 7 is now I do have this. I reviewed this. I ranted on it though. But this is a film a lot of people enjoy though. But I did not like it though. And it's one of the Marvel films of this year. That is of Black Panther. Now like I said before, you can check my review on this though. But positive things though, the acting was good though. The Chadwick Boseman, he was good as T'Challa, Black Panther. But besides the acting, Michael B. Jordan, his villain was lame, and his whole plan I did not feel sympathy for where he wanted to kill children, so we're gonna kill our enemies and their children too, or whatever, and the visuals of this film cost $200 million. The visuals that I saw, especially towards the third act, when T'Challa and Killmonger falling into toward the vibraniums, all I've seen was stuff from what I've seen from Justice League, the visuals in that. I did not need to see that. So yes, and especially with Daniel Kaluuya, the guy from Get Out, who I like as well though, and him seeing him riding those armored rhinoceros was silly and laughable. Seeing the rhinoceros with armor and all that stuff, him riding it, and it was just silly to me. It was laughable. Danai Gurira, who plays Okoye from Michonne from The Walking Dead, I enjoyed her, and I thought she was more badass, honestly, than Black Panther, because Black Panther, for 3 action scenes, like the beginning, where it was freaking too dark to see, because she's wearing a black suit as well, so it made it much more hard to see, with nothing but flashes from the guns, didn't see what much was going on. The second is from the car chase you saw in all the trailers, and then from the third act, and that was it. Not much of him wearing the Black Panther suit overall, so of over a 2-hour movie. And so all the plot holes, like I mentioned when I reviewed it, when T'Challa saw the ring that Killmonger was wearing, how did he get that? And when he told Daniel Kaluuya that he was going to bring Claw and Andy Serkis, he says, "Oh, we didn't get him." But he didn't explain why they didn't get him. They didn't bring him in because it was because of Killmonger. He didn't explain to Daniel Kaluuya someone else bailed him out, broke him out of custody. He didn't tell that to him. Or when Forrest Whitaker told that T'Challa's father, he killed his own brother in self-defense. Or when Killmonger says, "You ain't the son of a king, you're the son of a murderer." I'm like, no. To Killmonger, your dad tried to kill young Forrest Whitaker, and your uncle, basically, blocked it and killed your father in self-defense, because he was going to kill Forrest Whitaker, so he blocked it and stabbed him in self-defense. And T'Challa, and when Forrest Whitaker told him all this, he doesn't tell everybody, in the where the throne is, or all the people are where the throne is. He doesn't tell anybody that. Yeah, so the plot was like that, He just can't speak out to say all this stuff, otherwise. And Andy Serkis, I thought he was good. He was a much better villain than Killmonger, and it's just stupid that I'm pissed that they killed him off, because he built him up from Age of Ultron, and then he killed him off until the first half of the movie. And especially killing him off was kind of pointless too, because even if he was brought back alive, he would have still brought Killmonger into Wakanda, to get the past to let him in. Even if he was dead or alive, so kill him off was pretty much pointless, because it would have brought him in anyway. So yeah, and overall I thought it was just overall boring as well. So, but the acting was good from the cast though. But I'm afraid I mentioned Martin Freeman and Stan Lee's little cameo appearance. May he rest in peace. Martin Freeman I also liked as well. Winston Duke as M'Baku, or aka Mayonnaise from the comics. One of the best superhero movies of the century. No, it's not. To me, it's not. But this film was such a huge hit in the box office, to my surprise, and 97% Rotten Tomatoes. I don't see that. I'm sorry. A lot of people enjoyed the film though, but I explained some other stuff in my reviews. You can check that out. So, but yeah, I didn't like Black Panther. I'm sorry. But hey, let's say it's my opinion though. But if you a lot of people like Black Panther, that's good on you. But I respect that though. But to me, I did not care for Black Panther. So that's number 7. So Black Panther, no. Number 6 is another one I have right here. I reviewed this one as well. Family film. Hey, it's a family film that I did not like, and that is Peter Rabbit. Peter Rabbit's the douchebag, basically, because that's how they made this character, a complete and utter douchebag. Because I mentioned before in review how the old Peter Rabbit cartoons that I watched from the old VHS tapes that I even made a little quick clip of the picture of the video VHS I used to have. The Peter Rabbit was never like the Peter Rabbit in this one was never like that at all. Of course, like I said, they made it like more modern times. So he has to do like kung fu or do all this other stuff, set traps to to our lead guy, and it's I just how they take characters and they take like classic characters and make them like kind of like this, and such the whole thing with the whole like how it was getting accusation how our character was allergic to blackberries and they made him swallow it to make it have a choke on it or because he's allergic to it. And I mean Jamal Gleason and Rose Byrne, they were not that bad though, but it's just that and plus I'm not a fan of James Corden as well, who voices Peter Rabbit. Sam Neill at the beginning, I think this is one of the most embarrassing roles he's done. I enjoy Sam Neill, but I think this is one of the most embarrassing roles because, big bearded and especially he's like, I'm gonna make you into a pie. But you can see that Peter Rabbit's trying to shove a carrot in the back of Sam Neill's ass crack. You see his ass crack show into the camera. Really, now you do not need to see Sam Neill's ass crack to the camera. Thank you. Yeah. And then, of course, when he dies from a heart attack, or when you see like a flashback where him eating a bunch of junk food, even drinking dirty water from a bird bath. Sam Neill, god dang. I mean, he had a little role in The Commuter with Liam Neeson, which that's gonna be on my favorites list. So, little something right there. But he was in it for a little bit, but he was not like the complete opposite of this in Peter Rabbit. And the Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, his three sisters. One is Margot Robbie, one's Daisy, the girl who plays Rey from the new Star Wars movies, and the other one is Elizabeth Debicki, who played the Priestess Aisha from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. They all sound the same, so I couldn't tell who was which. They all sound the same, so I couldn't tell which voice is which for which rabbit. But the main problem is the star of this film is Peter Rabbit himself, and this is how they wrote is a complete douchebag and a complete bully as well, because he wants the house and he would eat their vegetables in the garden and all that stuff. So, but the film was a surprisingly huge hit, and now that's gonna get a sequel as well. When films like that are huge hits, it's gonna get a sequel. So, frick, man. Yeah, that's why this film has made me more mad, because a character like this you've seen back in the day, so like the VHS, like I told before. Yeah, imagine that Peter Rabbit in that, and you look at Peter Rabbit in this film. You tell what is the big difference in there. So yeah, I don't want to go into further. I reviewed it, I ranted on it, so you can check that out. Peter Rabbit, God, Peter Rabbit the douchebag. That's all I can say. So that's number 6. Number 5 is Solo: A Star Wars Story. I knew I was. This film deserved to have bombed big. This is the first Star Wars film in a franchise that's bombed, especially bombing badly. Especially all the trouble it had in the production. Like the directors were supposed to be the guys who directed 21 and 22 Jump Street and the Lego Movie, because they want to make a little more of a comedy, but Kathleen Kennedy, the producer of all the Star Wars films, had them fired, so they brought in director Ron Howard, who shot like 75% of the movie. And the film bombed big time. It's one of the biggest flops of this year. One of the most expensive as well. And the film was pointless anyway. I mean, because the film bombed, they were gonna have other plans for other spin-offs, like I think for a Boba Fett movie or an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. Because the film bombed, they halted all those projects. All good. I'm like, good, because we don't need any more spin-offs to keep milking this franchise even more. To me nowadays, Star Wars is a completely overrated franchise to me. The only good films were the original trilogy. I'm not a fan of the prequels either, but there were some couple of highlight things from the prequels. Well, Attack of the Clones is the worst one in that trilogy, though. I mean, the first Phantom Menace, the Duel of the Fates from John Williams' film, and John Williams' score, Duel of the Fates, I liked, and Darth Maul was a cool villain. And I like Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor. Revenge of the Sith, but Attack of the Clones was the worst in that trilogy. And of course, I've said it before, I hate Force Awakens, I hate The Last Jedi. It was a mistake for Disney to buy the Lucasfilms. And I know they're probably going to do the same thing, screw up the next Indiana Jones. They want to plan make a 5th Indiana Jones films, and they're going to screw that up now. They screwed up Star Wars, and especially I hated Rogue One. Star Wars was another pointless story film, and so is this Solo Star Wars story pointless. Yeah, we don't need to see how Solo came to be, how he is, how he got the Millennium Falcon, and barking with Chewie, and the rifle that he got from he always has. Woody Harrelson, just sitting at a campfire, he just gave it to him. That's it. The lead guy who plays young Solo, bland, boring, and he was basically a blank piece of wood. That's what he was. He was wooden. That's the word I'm looking for. Wooden. But it doesn't matter if this film bombed enough, because the next year the 9th one in the new trilogy is gonna make money. So this film doesn't even matter anyway. This film bombed or not, because the Force Awakens, Last Jedi made money. The next year that's gonna make money. I know that that's a fact. But so it doesn't matter. This film bombed anyway. But it was a pointless, useless story, just like Rogue One. We did not need another Solo spin-off story, whatever. I mean, Ron Howard, yeah, I like a lot of his films, but lately, he's been nothing but one flop after another over the past how many years now? He hasn't had a major hit in how long? Which he thought he was going to be. He was getting Star Wars, but no, this film, because people thought this brought nothing new to the franchise, and they were right. This film brought nothing new to the franchise. Only positive thing is good special effects, like all the new Star Wars films. Yeah, good effects, but that doesn't make up everything. So, pointless, useless story. It's a waste of space, a waste of money. Stop milking this franchise even further. God. So yeah, that's where I can say Solo Star Wars story. That's where I can say. That's number 5. Number 4 is Skyscraper, or it's called Green Screen the Movie. That's what basically it is. I mean, Dwayne Johnson I like, but okay, between the Dwayne Johnson, okay, the film's choice has been okay. I like Central Intelligence. Last year I did not like. I hated Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I hated that movie. This year, Rampage, overall did like. With Dwayne Johnson, I liked him in that movie. His performance in Rampage was good. But even though I had a couple of problems with Rampage, which I'll get to why when I do my top list of best films of this year, which that's next though. It's not my top 5. I would say it's like my 11th film of that year. Yeah, I did, because I picked out my list, so because 2 films I picked out for number 11, Rampage is part of it, and it has problems though with Rampage, but overall I did like it. But Dwayne Johnson's performance was good and all that. I would easily pick Rampage over this. It's basically it's basically a green screen the movie. the whole entire film green screen, CGI fires, green screen, stunt work, fires. It's supposed to be like a Die Hard mixed with Towering Inferno. And the film bombed as well. I think when I did my list of box office bombs, I didn't put this on this list. I think it should. I think it should have bombed. Domestically, it didn't do that well. So yeah, I think I forgot to mention that film as well as a box office bomb. Guess I forgot about it for good reason. And Neve Campbell, I like Neve Campbell though, but just the rest of the cast I didn't care for, and the whole thing, and which I thought that was gonna make money overseas because this set was set in China because the biggest world's tallest building and is in China, the skyscraper. This is about how prime example how action films nowadays has fallen. I mean, unless you like John Wick 1 and 2 like that. Both of these films are 10 times better than this. I will put either Dredd or Hardcore Henry. Those are action films I love and much better than this. Or even I forgot to even mention, even the Raid Redemption took place at a tall building, but it was kind of work your way up though. But Dwayne Johnson, I like Rampage, I like Central Intelligence, but some of his film choices recently just hasn't been that great. I mean, I'm a fan of Dwayne Johnson. Even my mother is a big fan of him. But this film, he's doing another film called Jungle Cruise. That's another Disney film coming out. I think it got delayed. I think which is all based on a Disney attraction as well, but it got delayed. I mean, some of his film choices haven't been that best though, but I mean, I liked him in Rampage. I would pick that over this, so that's why I put that on my 11th spot on the list of favorites though, but because the third act was a lot of fun. That's what pretty much saved the movie. If that third act did not happen, Dwayne Johnson's performance in that alone did not help save the movie. Would have been so. Skyscraper just how much money for like an entire CG green screen? How stunt work was not that good. Even all fires are fake as hell for a big budget film. It's not excusable. So. It was boring too. Another boring movie. Man, this is scored to nothing. It was made by Steve Jablonsky as well. Scored to nothing. There was the guy who directed. I think he wanted to do. What did the director do? I think he did. Where the Millers. I think they did. I think Where the Millers. I think he also did, was it Horrible Bosses? I forget. Because I think the guy did some comedy films. I think Horrible Bosses was one of them, and I think also Where the Millers too. I guess maybe the guy should stick with doing comedy movies instead of doing like a Die Hard type of action film. Hey, there's some Die Hard type of films I've enjoyed, especially from the 90s. Like Speed, Air Force One, Under Siege 1 and 2, even Sudden Death with Van Damme, which I have some issues though, but better than this. Or even 2013, 2 Die Hard films in the White House, Olympus Has Fallen, even White House Down. I was surprised by. So doing a Die Hard type of film like this didn't work. So I don't know what I can say. Skyscraper. It was just basically a green screen. The movie was just bland, generic, fake for a big budget film. It should not do that. It's just the Towering Inferno. It's supposed to be like the Towering Inferno. Actual fires, model work of the building, actual fires, firefighters putting in all that work, putting out fires and all that stuff, and especially got a star-studded cast as well. So, much better movie, especially for dealing with it's a skyscraper on fire. And 2 great leads, Paul Newman and Steve McQueen. Trying to do it so like this doesn't work. So, Skyscraper, this is number 4. Dwayne Johnson, I enjoy him though, but not in this film. Especially from his recent few casting choices. Like I did not like Jumanji. Did not like this film. Yeah, so that's number 4, Skyscraper. Number 3 is another film that people have liked, but I don't, because especially to a sequel that a film I did not like in the first place. Creed 2. Sylvester Stallone. I love Sylvester Stallone. He's one of my favorite actors. He's just running. He's just running on fumes. Which the next film, number 2, shows he's running on fumes even further. But this film, Rocky Balboa was a great way to end the Rocky franchise. They didn't make Creed, and now Creed 2. It's just basically Rocky 4 because, hey, you got the son of... Dolph Lundgren comes back as Ivan Drago, and now Michael B. Jordan has to fight the son of Ivan Drago, which I didn't care for the person who played the son of Ivan Drago. I'm sure this is that, Dolph Lundgren is doing this for a paycheck. Because, hey, nostalgia, remember? Rocky 4, yeah. Drago and Rocky together again, yeah. But this film got critical notice and... movie box office wise, but I did not like the first Creed in the first place. Michael B. Jordan, his character was extremely unlikable to me, and here same thing. Basically, he didn't learn nothing from the previous film, and he treats Rocky like crap in this movie. I'm like, God, that's the biggest alpha. It's not Michael B. Jordan's fault. It's how they wrote this character. It's not his fault, but it's how they wrote the character. It's just made him completely unlikable, and who plays his wife, Tessa Thompson, who played Valkyrie from Thor Ragnarok, which was in the previous Creed though, but I didn't buy the love romantic relationship either in this film. And yeah, I didn't care for the guy who played the son of Ivan Drago. I didn't care for him at all. Some of the music choices I just didn't care for either, and I did not like the score, I would say. More than care for, I just did not like the score. It's just the whole character himself was just completely unlikable. It's basically like he learned nothing from the previous film. Like I said, how he treats Rocky like crap. Just a second. Although there's a problem with me that when we mentioned in the previous Creed film that Stallone had Rocky had cancer. I thought when he had cancer, I thought he was gonna die, but he didn't. To my surprise, and I think the Stallone said this is his last time playing Rocky. Thank goodness. If that's true, then thank goodness. You don't need to bring Rocky anymore. But if they make a third Creed film, they'll probably just say his character will probably just killed off screen. Oh, he's dead. Stupid. I did not like Creed. I did not like this film at all. I think it's kind of sequels of just keep on getting worse. Although there's been sequels this year I liked, so I can't say that though. But just certain sequels I don't like, and there's certain films of sequels I do like. So yeah, sequels I did not like this year, and there's sequels I thought are much better than these films that I like this year. So Creed 2 just. So it's like you get the training montages. Also, you get like taken out from Rocky 3, except you don't have Eye of the Tiger plane. As far as they didn't do that because they were basically combining Rocky 3 and 4. Man, and just Sylvester Stallone. I love Sylvester Stallone. He's just running on fumes now. And speaking of the next one, number 2. But that's number 3. If I ever review it again, I'll have to review the first Creed one if I have to get to this. But if I do it, it'll be eventually, but it's gonna be farther away. So, but Creed 2 that's number 3. Now getting on to number 2, which once again, like I said, Stallone. He's clearly running on fumes. Which directed video, which he did a sequel, and he's doing a third film for this series, which I didn't even like the first movie in the first place, and that was a big disappointment. Escape Plan 2. Why? I did not like the first Escape Plan. With him and Arnold Schwarzenegger, I thought it was a good opportunity for them to be in a film together. It was beyond disappointing. And now, why was he I heard when he's got a while back when he's planning to do two sequels to this film and a third film. Stallone, what are you doing, man? What are you thinking? And I think I heard a while back he was going to do a film with Jackie Chan. I would love to see that. Whatever film it was he was going to do with Jackie Chan, I would love to see that, but he says no. But he decides to do this film and a third Escape Plan film? Are you kidding me, Stallone? I mean, I know Stallone is getting up there in age, though, but just either do some different kind of roles instead of doing this crap, or just stop making, or just retire, Mr. Stallone. I mean, I would love to him. I mean, I like this little cameo appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It was cool to see him in the Marvel MCU. But, I would rather see him with him and his team of the original Ravagers in another Marvel spin-off. I would rather see that. You know, it was like, tell him with his team. One of them was Ving Rhames, one of them was Michelle Yeoh, and he says, what do you say we steal some shit? I would rather see that. I'd rather see what him and his team of Ravagers could do in the MCU. I'd rather see that spin-off. I'd rather see that than a spin-off of Solo's Star Wars story. I'd rather see that. I mean, do that. Either do a spin-off of that or do some more... No more action films. If you want to do more dramatic stuff, like more dramas or... I mean, well, comedies. Well, Grudge Match I hated. He was laughable and embarrassing to see him in that little... Him who was doing that green suit, for our video game. It was totally embarrassing to see him in that. Or do like a comedy like Oscar. That was he shows he can do a comedy like Oscar. That was a fun comedy with him in it. But it was a pointless sequel to begin with, and especially he didn't show up that much in the first hour of the movie for all I knew. And same with Dave Bautista. They're not the main stars of the movie. It's this. I think it's this. What was this? How old this guy's name is? I think he's supposed to be the main star, but just he didn't. Stallone doesn't appear until like within the first hour mark. He didn't appear like 5 minutes total. Dave Bautista's the main star, and you got Curtis 50 Cent Jackson in here, which he didn't need to be the first Escape Plan in the first place. God dang it. I feel like I just want to throw this thing. I really do. But although why should I care? I hate the movie anyway. Man, Stallone, he's just running on fumes. It's like with Adam Sandler. He's running on fumes with all these comedies he's doing that are not funny no more. It shows like he's running on fumes as well. Here, Stallone the same thing. Well. And this is, I'm just putting my hand in my face right now because I'm just done with Stallone's recent work. It hasn't been that great. I love Stallone. He's one of my favorite actors. I love many of his movies, and God, I just feel like banging my head against this table right now. I hate this film so much. It's just a prime example. He just either stop doing more of this junk, or just do something different. They need to do a direct-to-video sequel anyway. Not even a third film. I have no interest in seeing at all. The first Escape Plan with Arnold was just disappointing as enough. Bullethead, I hated. Grudge Match, I hated. God. Still, I don't want more to say. I don't want. Otherwise, I'm gonna start feeling angry. I don't want to get to it. So yeah, Escape Plan 2, and I just. There, I'll just do that. I'll just toss it right there. It's pointless anyway. That's number 2. That is film just made me so mad. But number 1, that just makes me even more mad. But number 1, nothing as much as I hate Escape Plan 2, nothing compares what the Predator is. Nothing. The Predator is number 1. It pisses me off. That one pissed me off the most. As a fan of Predator and Predator 2. Especially Predator is such a Predator 2, which I reviewed during Halloween, most badass of the franchise. Danny Glover is Mike Harrigan, most badass character I've seen in films, one of the most badass of all. Such a badass one-liners he says, the door swinging both ways, or when he goes toe to toe with the freaking Predator. Here, the lead, Boy Holbrook, the guy from Logan, one of the bad guys with the metal arm. He was bland, boring. He was nothing compared to what Danny Glover was. Nothing. Or Arnold, at that matter. They made the whole entire film into a comedy. All the jokes were completely unfunny. Nothing worked. Thomas Jane, he was completely freaking wasted, like as I expected to be, because he's a veteran that has Tourette's, and he's saying all stuff that all the soldier guys are making fun of him. You know, like for example, eat your pussy. Did you say, did you eat my pussy? And I was like, no, she's your pushy. Like that. Or the more comedies that, more with Thomas Jane's getting made fun of because of his Tourette's, and, like other jokes, like the girl is in the lab with Sterling K. Brown, and it's like, oh, you one beautiful motherfucker. Yeah, I get it, because it altered you're one ugly, yeah. And then Sterling K. Brown just says, oh, we called a predator. And she's like, oh, a sports hunter. And he says, yeah, but we took a vote and we like predator more. Fuck yeah. After seeing this film, I basically I did pay money for this. I said I didn't want to see it, but in my mind, I think I should have, though. I've never let myself down. So I listened to what my mind was saying. And look what happened. At one point, I wanted to walk out of the theater and demand my money back. I did. It's the same thing like I did with Alien Covenant. After the one point where David was kissing his other self, Walter, that's the point I wanted to walk out of the theater, just like Alien Covenant. I just want to walk out of this film completely altogether, but I just stick around, otherwise I'll rant about this freaking thing. Man. Yeah, and a more unfunny joke. So look at the girl, she's on top of the bus trying to use a tranquilizer dart. She actually shoots herself in the freaking foot, and the lead guy was gonna catch her, but she falls down. When the guy looks, he's like, oh, sorry. Or the freaking human bad guy when he has the Sterling K. Brown, where he has the shoulder cannon. It turns like this, and he turns, and it blows his own freaking head off. From stupidity. And the CGI freaking big Predator, horrible CGI, same with the dogs. I mean, the dogs in Predators, which from 2010, I did not like either. Those dogs look better than this. The CGI was freaking horrible as hell. Beyond horrible. This film has been turned into a freaking comedy, which I hated. Which, yeah, the Predator 2 has funny moments in it, but it was not treated as a stupid comedy. But like Bill Paxton, you know, may he rest in peace. You know, he's trying to, fit in like, hey, surveillance is my specialty. Like that, or especially when he went out like a badass, like, come on, motherfucker, let's dance. He went out like a badass. Nobody here is a badass in this movie. Nobody. And especially with the whole thing with the Boy Holbrook's son, he's autistic, or with a bully when he was being bullied. Some of those kids said, "Oh, I'm hungry for some Aspergers." And that way the kids say, "Oh, I'm hungry for some Aspergers." Guess what? You want to make fun of that? Guess what? Make fun of me, because that's what I have. Yeah, I will say I have Aspergers. Why don't you go come make fun of me, and I'll beat the living crap out of you for that. Yeah, that's why that makes me offended, because make fun of freaking Aspergers, yeah. Yeah, make fun of something that I have, but this time I'm much more minded, and I will really beat the crap out of you for doing that. Especially for Fred Dekker and Shane Black. If they wrote this stuff, come on. Fred Dekker, like he did Monster Squad, Night of the Creeps I like. Shane Black, I like The Nice Guys, but I hated Iron Man 3. I like The Nice Guys, but here, this is by far the worst you've done. It's worse than Iron Man 3. Fred Dekker, he also directed RoboCop 3. He hasn't done much ever since then. Script was horrendous, tedious, horrible. Freaking comedy that does not work in a Predator movie. Our cast is entirely wasted. Thomas Jane, I love Thomas Jane. Wish he would have been the lead instead of Boy Holbrook, and not have a freaking Tourette's syndrome guy. I knew he was gonna be wasted. I knew it. I called it, and I was right. Just looking back on Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, come and get me, do it now. or just him going trying to fight against the Predator on a solo fight, you know, and with better casted, you know, with Bill Duke, Sonny Landham, Jesse Ventura, even Shane Black. He was in them. He starred in Predator as Hawkins. Come on, Shane Black. Just stop. I like The Nice Guys, but I hate Iron Man 3. This is what the best thing you do is stop directing then. And Fred Dekker, no more writing, okay? And then Predator 2, badass movie. Danny Glover, one of the most badass characters I've watched. Him going toe-to-toe with the Predator. He cuts the Predator's arm off to disable the self-destruct with his own smart disc. Him the shotgun shooting the Predator so many times. Ah! And on the alien ship, he's just toe-to-toe, just hitting, deflecting, whatever, and then shoves it into him. It's like, that's right, asshole. Shit happens! And even when he kills the Predator, more pops up. He's even acting so like a badass. And he's like, okay, who's next? God. It just tears me up inside about Predator. About how this day Predator 2 still gets hated on, but this gets a higher rating on Rotten Tomatoes than Predator 2. That still pisses me off. I think this even has a higher rating on IMDb as well than Predator 2. God freaking dang it. It just tears me up and kills me inside. How what this film has done, you know? Alien Covenant is the same way, but Alien 3 is still the worst in the franchise, hands down still. But guys, not only that it pisses me off, it pisses my dad off as well. But this film is by far the worst. It's by far worse than Predators. Especially with the autistic kid who can all of a sudden in 5 seconds read the Predator's language, and especially the whole thing with the Predator's subplot is it completely deviates what Predator from 1 and 2 does. Instead of just hunting for sport, as it wants to kidnaps kid now. It's like because what he has is probably the next step of evolution for man. Even the regular Predator wants to help humanity. Even gives him a freaking at the end of the movie, a Predator suit, and it's called the Predator Killer, and that's what Boylberg says, oh, that's my new suit. Just need to breathe. It's only a movie. I know it's only a movie, but it's just killing me as a fan of Predator, especially a huge fan of Predator 2. Oh my god. Oh. This is why, yeah. This is by far the worst film I've seen this year. Yeah, all the other films I hate, like Escape Plan 2 and Creed 2. Nothing is far worse than this. This is by far worse. Oh man, I don't know what I can say about the Predator. Stop with this franchise. Stop with the Alien films. No more Alien films. No more Predator films, please. And the film didn't do well domestically either, so. I don't worry. So yeah, that's by far. This is definitely number one for me. So, just to recap, number 10, Tomb Raider. Number 9, Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween. Number 8, Halloween, 2018. Number 7, Black Panther. Number 6, Peter Rabbit. 5, Solo Star Wars Story. 4, Skyscraper. 3, Creed 2. 2, Escape Plan 2. And number 1, freaking The Predator. So I hope you enjoyed like I said, if you like any of these films, that's fine, it's your opinion. In my opinion, all these films suck. Especially the first 2. Or the first 4, I would say. Or 5. So I hope you enjoyed my top 10 worst films of this year. Now, ending on a good note, which I've already pre-recorded before I did this one. My top 11, which I pre-recorded that because I made a mistake. So when you watch that video, I made a mistake with the numbers because for some reason I started out with 10, and I did it, and I made two of the films as number 11. So I made a mistake. So I was going on until I reached number 7. I was like, oh wait, that's not right. So When you watch that, I made a mistake on. So it's number 11 films. I didn't start with number 11. I started with 10 instead. That's my mistake. So I'm just telling you right now. So when that goes up next, I'll probably put in a little description saying explain I miscounted wrong. So, but that's going to be up next. So, hope you enjoyed my top 10 worst films of this year. Like I said, it's all subjective, but if you like any of these films, that's fine. I respect that. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned to my top 11, not 10, 11 worst, best films I've seen this year. Which I said a couple of them in this, so, but yeah. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for that.